They're going through the country like crap through a goose. It's basically what they're doing. They got their entire list of radical neo-Marxist issues that they're trying to force through this country. So Joe Biden, after 100 days, can say, I'm the greatest progressive president in history. And look at all the people I've saved with the vaccines. And all he does is sit there like a stupid old man and signs this stuff with his staff pushing the most radical agenda imaginable, with really no majority in Congress. It's so small it doesn't even count. They're using executive orders. They're getting around the budget system. A senator goes off to a funeral. They vote when he's out of town. You're seeing the most disgusting and outrageous things imaginable. I want you to think about the framers of the Constitution. I want you to think about the great thinkers of the time, and I've talked about Alexis de Tocqueville on my radio show last night. The magnificence of our system, which is really, it's built around the individual, unalienable rights. It's built around truths, natural rights, and natural law. Everything that you see happening here is alien to the American founding and alien to American principles. I went back and I read some of these executive orders by Biden, and nowhere does he talk about individual liberty. Nowhere does he talk about limited constitutional government. Nowhere do they talk about private property rights. Nowhere do they talk about family or faith. This is just a hardcore neo-Marxist enterprise that's taking place. And as I've told you before, progressivism, which is sort of the passive, inoffensive way of saying what's going on here. Look, I've written many books. One of the words I don't like is progressive. And in Liberty and Tyranny, I said, I'm not using it. They're statists. And people hadn't heard that word in a couple thousand years because it wasn't used. But I was reading Aristotle, and there it was, the word statist. And I said, you know what, I gotta breathe life back into this word. And then as I'm writing the other books, I said, nobody even knows what a statist is. So I have to explain that. I'm going to call them progressives just because that's the nomenclature. And I can't, every time I use progressive, have a parenthetical that says, which means status. So I explain that in the beginning of the book, and I do that. And then in a book I'm writing now, which I cannot discuss too much right now, they're not even progressives. Although progressives are sort of the gateway philosophical drug or the bridge to where we are today, but they're worse than that. And this whole thing about a cancel culture is quintessential totalitarianism. That is, you don't want to engage in debate. You don't want to listen to what anybody else has to say. You don't even want to win a debate. The goal is to destroy anyone who disagrees with you and make it impossible to have a debate. And so you see this war on free speech, but it's even worse. You now have corporations whose boards consist of mostly leftists, people who went to college 20, 30, 40 years ago, and who were indoctrinated in these critical theories, these ideologies, and are receptive to them or fear them, one or the other. And this is in boardroom after boardroom after boardroom in this country. And even though this is a minority view, a minority in terms of numbers, they are falling like dominoes.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.